fine.
Okay
That's great. Before the cameras roll, cool. So my name is Lori Shank, Lorishenk. I'm Raffo Township's Emergency Management Coordinator.
Randall Wanger, Raffo Township Manager.
Jerry Swore, Raffo Township Supervisor.
Jeff Sechrist, Assistant Fire Chief with Mastersonville.
Joe Stafford, Chief of Police, Manheim.
Okay. All right. So thank you, everyone. So as you know, we did have an incident this morning. It started as a gas leak at 5:49 a.m. At around 6 a.m., that turned into an explosion, and it's at the Raffo Township Municipal Building, 971 North Colebrook Road here in Raffo Township. Public Works employees were arriving for work. They were outside the buildings. They were not inside any of the buildings at the time of the explosion. There are no injuries. There have been residents, houses in the nearby vicinity and adjacent properties that have suffered some damage. The extent of damage varies, but we are in the process of doing damage assessment to determine the extent of that. The Red Cross is on scene assisting those residents, and so that's an ongoing investigation. And fire department does remain on scene. Initially, we had a fire department response that involved up to more than a dozen, maybe 2 dozen agencies. We've kind of scaled that back a bit, and I can let the fire chief comment further on that. But right now there are structural engineers, insurance investigators, and other authorities having jurisdiction on scene, assessing, looking for whatever damage might be there that we haven't found at this point. PSP Fire Marshal is continuing to determine what caused this incident to happen. I did report earlier, municipal building, Raffo Township's municipal building did suffer some damage. They structurally have lost their public works building, which houses all of their equipment from road signs and shovels to payloaders and dump trucks. And so they're working with their neighboring municipalities to be able to secure mutual aid support services for that. Their municipal meeting will be here at the East Fairview Church of the Brethren tomorrow evening at 7:30 in the evening. That's their normal meeting time, so that meeting will continue. And how they operate from an office perspective, we're still determining that. So we'll have more information on that later. We want any person who believes that they have damage as a result of this incident, you need to contact your homeowner's insurance immediately. And so that process initiated by you contacting your homeowners then will help to connect the damage assessment on our end with those authorities that we have in doing damage assessment. I do want you to know that there are 2 propane tanks on the property. There are propane contractors on site that are offloading the residual product in the tank, as well as burning off those gases. And so neighbors might see a flame. That's completely normal, part of that operation. They're currently doing that. They'll probably do that throughout the day and possibly into tomorrow. It's a controlled operation, and fire department remains on scene. This road, Raffo Township's road, North Colebrook, between Hostler and Brenneman Road, will be closed for the remainder of the day and more than likely the remainder of the week. So we need motorists to respect that boundary so that we can continue damage assessment and those residents living in that area have some sense of security, and we can continue to work as municipal leaders. All this information is subject to change as we start to evaluate more and more claims and we see more and more damage. It helps us to know a better perspective of what all has happened, and so the information I give you could change, but we will try to update you as we can.
Is there any further word on the cause? Should anyone be concerned that there could be another explosion?
I have no reason to believe there would be any secondary explosions.
No, it was propane related, and the propane is secured and taken care of.
Any update on how many people might be displaced by this?
Preliminarily, it looks like maybe half a dozen people or less. That's a very preliminary guesstimate. So the investigators that we have on site, those are the building codes and officials are the ones that would make that determination. Some of those residents could possibly be accessible and some may not be. I do not have that list yet. That is an ongoing process that we still do not have the information on.
Any estimate on the value of all the destroyed equipment in the building?
I don't think we have any numbers yet.
Yeah.
Millions.
I mean, that was a large building and everything from shovels to heavy equipment.
My apologies if you've already covered this. I was a little late to the game. Could you tell us, the township building, will that be demolished now? Is that structurally sound? What are next steps on that?
So the office building is what you're asking about. So we have structural engineers on site. They are assessing that and they will let the township know if it's accessible and if not. They're working on a plan for continuity of operations, a temporary work site. So we should have more information on the location of that temporary work site if needed later today.
How are the employees doing, particularly the gentleman that opened the door and smelled gas? How are they doing?
So we made contact with them initially. The first units on the scene made contact to make sure there were no injuries. They were not injured. They have not reported any injuries. They're all a little bit shooken up because this is quite a big event for them, but they are fine, and we appreciate that you're concerned about them.
Three of them are out on a job.
Wow, they're working?
Yep.
Yeah, they're working.
Any idea about the propane situation? Yesterday was a holiday, so the buildings would have been vacant that led to a leak and the explosion.
Yeah, we know that there was some activity in the buildings on Monday, not on Tuesday, and then showing up today at 6 a.m. For a work day. So we don't have any more information, but PSP's fire marshal is on scene, still doing investigating.
And we've heard anecdotally that there have been people who were covered in rubble and are uninjured but were still impacted by this. Can you share any stories? Are you aware of any neighbors who were covered in rubble and had to be dug out?
So somebody from an emergency response perspective, fire, police, or EMS, has made contact with the neighbors in that immediate vicinity. EMS remains on scene, and I don't know or could disclose any EMS related contact with those individuals, but they have all been face-to-face meeting, assessment, and in some fashion appropriately handled.
Is any of the residential structures being evaluated as well?
Yes, so there's multiple residential locations in the neighboring properties that are currently being investigated. Structural engineers are doing that investigation.
So I understand that there was paving that was supposed to happen today, and obviously you can't use equipment to do that, but it's still happening. Can you just talk about how that was possible?
It's done by a contractor, and it's their equipment that's doing the paving work. Raffo Township doesn't own a paver. We contract that out each year.
All right, so we do appreciate everyone's concern. If there's a resident in the community that believes they have some sort of damage from this incident, they need to contact their homeowner insurance, start that claim process, and then once that process is initiated, on the back end, the dots are connected and we can determine if it was in fact related to this incident or not. And there's a lot of moving parts happening today. We hope that in the near future we've been able to answer all the questions, but unfortunately at this time we can't.
Can we expect any more updates today as far as press conferences?
So at this point I would say I don't need to hold another press release. If the community is recognizing that if they believe they have a claim, they should file a claim. I don't believe I need to hold another press briefing. If fire department gets to a point where they believe they could allow media a closer look, we will we'll message that down here to you folks. We will probably put something together on the Raffo Township website and Facebook page later today or tomorrow and in the coming days to give any information that we believe people need to know. So I don't believe we'll have another press briefing today. All right. Thank you all.